Hello, I'm Tom Booker, Senior Instructor. Thank you for joining me. This video is over the lunge punch from the fixed stance. Now, there's quite a bit going on here. It's much different from some of the other punches that we see. With our hands, I'm chambering my punching hand in at my front hip. My retraction hand is my back hand here, twisting my hips and shoulders. And as I punch, I'm untwisting to do the strike. This hand pulls in, my front hand extends out into a strike here. Now, looking at this from the front, there's my twist. My chest is pointed this way. As I complete the strike, my chest is now pointed that way. So I'm untwisting to do the strike. If I want a little more power in this, what I do is pull in sharply with my retraction hand here. The faster this pulls into my hip, the faster and stronger my punch is going to be. Now, what we also have going on here is a shift from an L stance into a fixed stance. We'll just look at that shift for now. We're starting in our L stance here, and in an L stance, most of my weight is over my back leg. To shift to a fixed stance, I'm letting my front foot move a little further out, and I'm dropping my body weight toward the floor this way. I'm settling much lower into this position. So my weight is now equally taken by both legs. I want to be careful that I'm not doing this as I drop. I'm not starting to lean over that front leg. I want my weight equally centered up here. Now, this looks a good deal like just an extended L stance, and you certainly think of it that way. It's much closer to this, to a horse stance. If you think of a horse stance with one foot turned out, you've got a fixed stance. So it's really a variation on a horse stance. Now, just like a horse stance, I want to be careful as I make this shift that I'm not leaning over this way. I want to keep my head and shoulders nice and upright over my hips, over my feet, that I'm not leaning in here. So here, dropping down. Here, my legs have to do most of the work here. Now, if we add all of that together, get the chamber position, we're going to slide out, drop down, and strike this way. Slide out, drop down, and strike. Now a little faster. Here. Again, I'm pulling in with that retraction hand as I drop down. Now let's have a look at this on a target. Thank you, Ms. Blaine. Now we're going to start, just touch it and push it. Slide out, drop down, find it. Touch and push with your front hand. You want to make sure you're close enough here. If I'm a little too far away, I wind up leaning in over my front leg, putting myself off balance. Touch and push through. Make sure you're keeping your fist tight and your wrist straight. Then we'll go a bit faster and turn it into more of a strike. Slide out, drop down, and strike. Once more. Now there's actually enough power here where you do need to be careful about your punching technique. Keep your fist tight and your wrist straight, or you're going to get very unhappy with this skill. It can do things to your wrist, so keep that wrist nice and straight. Thank you, Ms. Blake. That is the lunge punch in the fixed stance. Thank you very much for joining me.